WRFM News for our sponsor, Cartier Jewellery, Toronto Town Square and the Esplanade, Warners Bay.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Jonathon Momsen with 2 New RFM Hunter News. A 32-year-old man has been charged with drug and weapon offences following a vehicle search at Windale. Police searched the vehicle while it was stopped for a random breath test on Lake Street. Joanne Elliott from Police Headquarters says a number of illegal substances were found.
Police searched the vehicle. They found a flick knife, methamphetamine, liquid amphetamine and cannabis. A 32-year-old man who was a passenger in that vehicle was arrested. He was taken to Charlestown Police Station where he was charged with drug offences and custody of a knife in a public place.
Patterson MP Bob Baldwin insists he's done nothing wrong in tearing up approval for a controversial aged care facility on Sydney's North Shore. Sydney shock jock Alan Jones launched a fierce on-air campaign against the facility in February, which the company behind the proposal claims pressured the federal government into rejecting the project. The company is suing Bob Baldwin in his capacity as Parliamentary Secretary to the Environment Minister for withdrawing approval for the development. Retailers in Maitland Mall are demanding compensation for lost business due to delays in construction of the first stage of the levee project. The first stage to upgrade High Street and create a shared car and pedestrian zone was due for completion by early this year, but construction delays have seen the completion date blow out to September, with shoppers being put off by fences and signs saying no admittance. Maitland Mall video store owner John Lee says at least 15 retailers have been forced to close and more are set to follow.
I spoke to quite a few of them. I wouldn't mention their names without their permission, but the bloke just across from me said I'm slowly bleeding to death, and a menswear shop told me he was doing absolutely nothing, and others are saying they're at the end of their tether.
Fresh calls are being made by police for victims of Anglican clergy abuse to come forward. Police are asking for any person with information regarding abuse of themselves or others to pass the details on to police. The calls have prompted former Newcastle Anglican Bishop Brian Farron to say he sympathises with any victims who felt their complaints were ignored. In light of the Hunter Superstorm, the Federal Union for Police Officers is calling for a phone network dedicated for emergency service workers. The Police Federation of Australia has used a submission to the Productivity Commission to push for a separate communication network which won't be compromised when other phone services fail. PFA CEO Mark Burgess says the emergency phone network would be an essential asset for future disaster situations.
We're looking to have a dedicated public safety arrangement for those public safety agencies that's interoperable. So in fact, police could talk to fire, could talk to SES, could talk to ambulance. So that's all interoperable amongst those emergency services, which I think would be vital, certainly vital in the current array of technology that's available to us.
The state government has applied to the Commonwealth for Category C assistance for Hunter primary producers badly affected by the April storms. Only severely damaged areas will be eligible if approved by the federal government. Despite the state conducting and assessing the damage, Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter Scott McDonald says it will be up to the federal government to decide which areas, if any, receive funding.
We've made our suggestions, but as I say, it has to be agreed to by the federal government. So look, I'm not in a position to give any more detail than that. We're not aware that a decision's been made, but we're hoping we're going to be hearing from the Commonwealth Government very soon.
Gosford Council says it will maintain its relationship with the University of Newcastle following calls for a separate Central Coast University. The plan was put forward by Wyong Mayor Doug Eaton for the Ourimbah campus to sever ties with Newcastle University and establish a standalone university. Gosford Mayor Laurie McInnes says the proposal was voted down at last night's joint council meeting.
Gosford councillors and 4 of the Wyong councillors voted to support the continuing support of Newcastle Uni's campus at Ourimbah and the opportunities to expand that on the coast.
In finance, the All Ords is down 1 point at 55.10 and $1 is buying 76.98 US cents.
Sport for our sponsor, NewcastleCheapestCars.com.au.
Newcastle netballer Samantha Pullman is looking to re-sign to the Adelaide Thunderbirds to work under new coach Michelle Dentega. Despite this season's disappointing campaign, the defender believes the new coach will have a positive influence on her game. Discussions on renewing Pullman's contract will begin in the next 2 weeks. Letters have been sent to Newcastle Jets members this week detailing the club's upcoming members forum. The forum will be held at Newcastle Panthers on the 18th of June and will enable members to provide their input into the club moving forward. Members are required to register if they wish to attend. And with winter training looming, Newcastle Cricket Academy coach Mark Cameron is calling for a new high-performance training centre. Finding indoor facilities for weekly training sessions is a pressing issue for the academy during winter. Long-term plans for a high-performance hub in Newcastle are in the works, with Cricket New South Wales including indoor nets. That's sport. I'm Tandi Chindoe.
Till new RFM News Time is 1:05.